Last night, Blake Lively broke her silence regarding the Justin Baldoni drama, appearing on Late Night with Seth Meyers.
And there's actually video footage of her pointing like this.
Blake Lively is unraveling after Seth Meyers unintentionally shattered the illusion she spent years carefully constructing.
Now I'm afraid to know too much about star signs, but yeah.
It's really hard to watch her now, I can't lie. It is really hard to watch her be this fake person.
Behind the designer dresses and overly rehearsed grins lies a woman who exploits motherhood and media manipulation to avoid responsibility. She's not a victim. She's the ultimate symbol of elite privilege disguised as faux empowerment.
But what I can say without going too into it is that this year has been full of the highest highs and the lowest lows of my life. And I see so many women around afraid to speak, especially right now, afraid to share their experiences. And fear is by design. It's what keeps us silent.
Let's break down what really happened on Late Night with Seth Meyers in April 2025. One of the most painfully staged and manipulative PR stunts we've seen in years. Because nothing says relatable woman like arriving in a massive white wedding gown seemingly stolen from a royal closet, only to switch into another outfit just for the walkout.
Seems to be on this tour that's painting herself as a hero for all women. And it's pretty frustrating how Seth and just Hollywood in general seems to be accepting it.
She entered like it was the Met Gala, not a talk show appearance. Her dress was too large for Seth's chair. She was drowning in fabric. The thing was so huge, it practically needed its own airtime.
Out the gate, there's just a level of awkwardness because, yeah, the dress doesn't fit his small chairs.
There are certain guests where I'm like, I really should just go back to a suit for tonight. This is a fantastic
You didn't
outfit.
wear your wedding gown?
And for what? To convince us she's riding an emotional roller coaster? That's the angle she played. A perfectly scripted victim monologue with a shaky voice just convincing enough to sound real. The irony? This teary performance aired just days after Blake was subpoenaed by Justin Baldwin's legal team.
But you can't believe everything you hear, you know? And, you know, that's what it's feeling like because there's more evidence and stuff that's painting the picture that Blake Lively's not being honest. And also, what are you afraid of? And what did he actually do?
She's now legally required to turn over texts, emails, and all her private communications about "it ends with us." But instead of confronting that, she's parading on late night television in flowing chiffon and staged humility.
And of course, she spoke to Seth Meyers beforehand on how they could, they had to mention something about everything that's been going on. And she said on his show that she couldn't talk that much about it.
And let's not skip the cherry on top. Media outlets like Daily Mail and Page Six were already praising the interview before it even aired. That's not journalism. It's a pre-packaged press release. Blake's team is cramming fluff pieces into the media like a student writing a last-minute essay. It's not a press tour, it's a full-blown distraction operation.
I also acknowledge that many people don't have the opportunity to speak, so I do feel fortunate that I've been able to.
I don't know what to say. I feel like right now, the people that are most upset with Blake Lively.
Speaking of misdirection, let's talk about her and Ryan's all-out paparazzi push. Suddenly, they're everywhere. Red carpets, interviews, autograph moments, and carefully curated street photos. This isn't PR anymore. It's media overload.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, they're everywhere. We cannot open any website with any entertainment news without seeing them wearing something different in every photo, in every occasion, and posing in front of the paparazzi, signing autographs.
Their faces are popping up more than ads for chewing gum. And it's no accident. The goal is crystal clear. Flood the public with images and smiles until the lawsuit fades from memory. Distract with fashion, distort the timeline, and pretend her career isn't on legal life support.
Smiling, being happy, and feeling popular. It's exhausting. So this is what they're trying to do, right?
And the media? They took the bait. They obsessed over her wardrobe like it was a diplomatic event. People magazine ran 2 entire articles about her outfits. Yes, 2. One focused on her white gown, complete with plunging neckline, layered ruffles, and crystal-studded heels.
Of course, she arrived in style in a white gown or dress. White is the color of innocence. I don't think that was a coincidence. I don't think anything with Blake Lively right now is a coincidence.
As if we didn't see it ourselves. Then came outfit number 2. Hair half up, soft curls, colorful earrings, riveting stuff. But somehow, not a word about the real issue. The subpoenas, the accusations, the lawsuit that's still very much alive.
Trying to overwhelm us with appearances. So all that negativity that they received will be pushed down in Google and on social media, because now it's all about them looking pretty, looking in love.
Now for the most self-indulgent move yet. Right outside Blake and Ryan's luxury NYC home, someone, wonder who, put up a massive "Another Simple Favor" poster across the street. Every time Blake opens the curtains, her name stares back at her. Bigger than Anna Kendrick's. It's not just a billboard, it's a shrine.
A lot more in the movie. She's carrying the movie, so Blake isn't even in it that much. But yeah.
And the best part? The movie flopped so hard on Amazon that IMDb had to remove the reviews. That's right. Users were giving it 1-star ratings in protest. The backlash was so strong, Amazon allegedly delayed showing any audience score.
Please stop. Seattle Times is saying the plot is a mess and the runtime is overlong. The Guardian says Another Simple Favor drops threads and drags on, but survives on its self-assured baseline pleasure.
What did Blake do in response? Probably threw on another gown and pretended nothing happened. But the critics didn't ignore it. Washington Post gave it 1 star. Seattle Times called it a mess. Globe and Mail simply pleaded, "Please stop." This isn't a comeback. It's a PR meltdown in heels.
Know what's going on. The clips I've seen, it just reminds me that Blake Lively is not a great actress, and apparently Anna Kendrick is a lot more in.
Let's revisit the Seth Meyers interview, the softest, most sanitized Q&A since kindergarten. Seth dodged every meaningful question like he was dodging legal subpoenas. No mention of allegations, no pressure about the subpoena. So what did they talk about? Ice.
Like ice
Ice
too.
in my milk.
I think the first time we got an ice machine in a refrigerator.
Anyway, they go on a whole monologue about ice. Blake Lively starts quoting and singing from Frozen, and it even quotes our Honest trailer. We are making ice. We did that in our Honest trailer. I was proud of that song.
Yes, actual frozen water. Seth asked if her character had beef with ice, then if she personally had beef with ice. Then Blake, trying hard to be cute, started singing a Frozen song like she was auditioning for preschool karaoke. You're facing legal trouble. Why are you singing?
The whole thing is just starts awkward out the gate, and shows just admits to how controlling this couple actually is.
Emily is a changed woman in this movie. She drinks martinis with ice.
That's very exciting.
Which is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
If you saw the first one, you'd understand why she has beef with ice.
Yes, I was like,
Do you in life have beef with ice?
No, I love ice.
Then came the classic, "I'm not informed enough" disclaimer from Seth, meaning, I know, but I won't risk losing celebrity guests. And Blake? She used it to pivot into her sob story about her kids. She claimed she's Disneyland every day for them. Blake, you're not Cinderella, and you've been hopping from carpet to gala. When exactly are you doing all this magical parenting?
It's nice though, because they're honestly, I mean, it's no surprise I've had like a pretty intense year, and like they're just my lifeline. Like no matter what day I'm having, I have to be Disneyland every day for them, and so it's.
They're my lifeline, and then she turned it. You hear how she did that? She sets it up so it's clearly open for now. Seth can bring it in.
And let's not forget the whisper. As the interview ended, Blake leaned over and muttered "thank you" over and over, not once, but multiple times. It wasn't gratitude, it was relief. Like a student thanking a teacher for not giving them a real exam. The whole thing reeked of stage management.
They're my lifeline. Oh, they've taken me away. And there's one where you're like, oh, it's so sweet. You can go be with your kids because they don't read all the news and they'll love you. They're unconditional, etc. But then she's like, it's like I have to pretend to go into Disneyland every day. Oh, it's such a chore for me. It is so hard. It is so hard for me, people. Oh, will you please give me more empathy? Because it's so hard being Blake Lively right now, having to go to my nannies and everybody and all these trips where clearly my kids aren't here.
Let's be honest. This wasn't an interview. It was a controlled PR spectacle with commercial breaks. Blake arrived in a dress big enough to be its own zip code, dodged every real question, changed outfits mid-show, and gave us a polished sob story, all while ignoring the legal chaos she caused. This wasn't bravery. It was branding.
The whole thing is just starts awkward out the gate, and shows just admits to how controlling this couple actually is.
Emily is a changed woman in this movie. She drinks martinis with ice.
That's very exciting.
Which is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
If you saw the first one, you'd understand why.
The fairy tale act is crumbling. One over-rehearsed quote, one embarrassing interview, and one-star review at a time. And just when you thought she couldn't get more transparent, she waltzes in draped in white, declaring herself the voice of silenced women everywhere.
It's the women who have had the ability to use their voice that's kept me strong and helped me in my belief in my fight for the world to be safer for women and girls. It's a pretty simple thing, but nothing. Thank you. It's true.
Sounds noble, right? But wait, what exactly did she speak up about? What earth-shattering, career-risking revelations did she share? He smelled her hair, said she smelled nice, walked into her trailer after she invited him, then kissed her after she bit his lip.
I think for all, like I said, for all real victims out there, just watching her sitting up there in her little princess dress, talking about victims, by the way. Someone sent me this video today. I had heard about this incident, that it happened, but I hadn't seen any video proof of it yet. But here it actually is.
That's not a survivor's testimony. That's the plot of bad Tumblr fanfiction from 2012. With all her media training and glam squads, you'd think she could offer a narrative that doesn't sound like a deleted Twilight scene.
You think about all these things that she has accused him of, and then she comes on national television to talk about how she is the voice of all these women out.
Let's also not ignore the real survivors, those who've experienced abuse, harassment, and systemic violence. They're not buying this. They've been calling her out across social media, and frankly, they have every reason to be furious.
That's the Seth side of it. From the Blake side, this idea that she's now being silenced, that she's the voice for all women, that infuriates me. The fact that she's now trying to become the poster child for standing up. Standing up to what? You had all the control in that set.
Blake turned their trauma into a costume. She dressed it in couture, accessorized it with tears, and strutted it across the stage. There's nothing empowering about exploiting fake victimhood for attention, especially when it's used to ruin someone else's life without proof.